Come on in the room, y'all.
Lord God Almighty, which and is to
Come on in the room. Come on in the room.
give and thanks to Him that sits on the throne.
Yeah. Need that song. That better. Turn it on good.
Y'all come on in. We're going to wait for a few people to join us. What's going on, D'Amico? How you doing, bro? My brother from another mother. I actually spoke with your mom today. It was a pleasant conversation. I absolutely miss her. How you up, man? How was your trip to the Punta Cana? Yeah, this is my BF. I have two BFs, and he's in Atlanta. Love you, man, and we're definitely gonna catch up soon. Y'all come on in the room. Hey, as always, y'all know our ask. We have one request. That is that you hit the like button. That gets the traction. And as you hit the share button, that gets us in front of your audience so that we can have this much needed discussion and conversation. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Sorry, good afternoon. We're not evening yet. Good afternoon. Hey, tonight, Nico, we're coming into your field tonight, bro. Hey, Sister Sandy, how are you? I pray that you're recovering well, and I pray that everything is going great in your recovery. We definitely got to catch up as well. Come on in the room, y'all. We are talking about a topic that is definitely much needed. But before we get into our topic, we're just trying to set the atmosphere with a little music. Tag somebody. We're talking about mental health tonight. Mental health, the Black church, and mental health. Mental health in the Black church. Come on in. Come on in. This is absolutely one of my jams.
Oh, yeah. That's one of those you try to sing to, right?
It is. I'm good at.
What part did you take?
Just one line. I give you one line. And y'all figure out the rest.
Do you go tenor, bass, or you do alto, or
I don't even
soprano?
know. I'm in all three. I try to get that soprano every now and then. Y'all come on in the room. It is so good to see all of you in this space. Our topic tonight is hot. We are in the middle of Mental Health Month. May is for the mental health, but May is also for the women here at the Mount. I want to share with you our upcoming events. Come on in the room. We thank you so much for tuning in, and we welcome you to another episode of the MountCast, where I am one of your hosts. I am Pastor Jay, and I'm here with my co-host.
Absolutely. Deacon Saul in the house, here to inspire and motivate and empower. So please tune in and like and share.
All right, y'all, like and share. Do us that hot, solid Do us that real hot solid to like and share. Get us in front of your viewers and let them know that we are talking all things mental health tonight. Okay. But before we get into our topic of discussion, we're going to share out with you some of the activities here at the Mount for the week. Last night we kicked off our Women's Month.
It was excellent.
Yeah, it was excellent. We had prayer, praise, and worship on last night, and it was absolutely amazing. Shout out to our pastor of magnification, our minister of magnification, Reverend Barry. Shout out to our new director and praise and worship leader, Mahogany Conda, Minister Conda, and to our coordinator of the events for the month, Reverend Joannica Maddox and her committee. Last night was what it was. It did what it needed to do.
Oh, yeah.
We had much prayer, much needed prayer, and we had some good old school medley. It was kind of an old school take back for a second.
It was, and the young lady that led that medley, I can't remember her name, but she was beautiful.
Frazier, I think.
Frazier, Sister Frazier, that's it. She was outstanding, man.
She was.
She just took the
Anointed.
microphone and took us in.
Yeah.
She just invited us to the room and wouldn't stop till we got there.
Yeah, and it was lovely, man.
Yeah,
It
and it
was
was great.
much needed. I can't think of a better way to kick off any activity in the church with prayer, and we definitely had much of that. And the people that did come, that came out last night, they were blessed. And I think the church needs to revisit maybe that avenue.
Yes.
We gather for a lot of things.
Oh my goodness, let's go there.
We gather for conferences and meetings.
Let's
and
go there, Doc.
Women's Day, Men's Day, church anniversary, but I think prayer meetings need to find their way back at least quarterly. So I'm going to be in prayer to God about that. But it was needed.
Yeah.
It was needed. And I walked away feeling I was a little heavy, to be honest with you, during the service. But when I left, I said to myself, I needed that.
Yeah.
I needed that.
Yeah, and Doc, our church needed that, and that's one of the things that I was thinking about today, is that we make time for so many activities in our life. All of us have busy schedules, and all of us have things going on, but that Wednesday night prayer meeting atmosphere, the church as a whole needed that. So disappointing that we didn't have more members who could have come in and witnessed it live. But we got to learn how to make sacrifices, Doc. We got to learn how to be present. We have to learn how to be present and support activities that go on in the church. So, you shouldn't have to be prodded or pulled.
Right.
Because every morning you wake up, you're reminded of the goodness of God.
Right.
So any opportunity that you can get in the sanctuary and worship and praise and thank Him for what He's done, that's an opportunity you need to take advantage of, because we don't know, and we've seen it, Doc, where we've had events like that in the week, and we're saying, that thing you say about the hand you hold it?
Yes, sir.
We have I think about it all the time. We have witnessed in our congregations where that hand that you hold, we take things lightly, but I just think I shouldn't have to remind you of the God that woke you up this morning, who allowed you to have this schedule or allowed you to do these things that you're doing. But we need to make time, because He's obviously made time for us.
Right.
So we got to do better.
I too share that sentiment. One of the things I've really been in prayer about is the culture shift. It's one of those things to where I think every pastor wishes, prays, and hopes for huge turnouts or even successful events and ministry events. But it's one of those things to where intentionality about who you're serving.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
well,
Take away the people who are there, take away the people who are over the program or
right.
administration, but the whole point is all about him.
It's all about him.
And
And
so
so,
yeah, put that aside and let's worship.
yeah, serving is not always you leading.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's you following
Yeah.
those who are leading.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
things, hey, what's up, Kevin? What's up, Pastor Brooks? How are you, brother? One of the things that we really have gotten away from
Hmm.
is supporting our church in a real and relevant way. And I'm not saying all churches, all black churches, and I can only speak for our context
Right.
because I do not attend a white church, and I haven't pastored a white church. But in our church, it seems to be an issue with getting people from Sunday to Wednesday or getting people from Sunday to Thursday.
Right.
But I was definitely pleased that enough women showed up.
Absolutely. We thank
And a
God
shout
for
out
them.
to I see Sister Holder. Hey, how you doing? Shout out to Sister Holder. Hey, Auntie, how you doing? Sister Woods, for coming out. Even some of the new members
Yeah. Hmm.
were in the place and invited their people.
Right.
And so that was very encouraging to see. But I guess as a pastor, I want everybody to be there.
Hmm.
And why not would you not be there for prayer?
Yeah.
I mean, the church is a house of prayer.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
And
That's
so,
what it is. And if we ever needed the Lord,
Lord, and
we
in
sure
these
do
times,
need him now,
yeah,
right now. So
gas $5,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
$5 for gas.
And I think sometimes, with all that's going on, I think God is pushing His people back to to that setting, back to that mindset that brought us over. When you look at things that are going on with the government, it was the black church who got everybody together, where people met, where they became whole, so that they could go out in them streets and march and do the things that they had to do. So just looking back on history, we're very close to where we are.
Yeah,
we
here.
ain't close. We here.
We here.
Well, we're gonna have to go to the streets again, and
Yep.
it's gonna take the church and the unity of the church to put us together, so that we can get our marching orders.
Well, I'll say this. I don't want to toot my own horn, but this is now. So that was 21. So in 21, I worked with a nonprofit to bring resources to the church. But most importantly, what I took away from it was the creation of that civic engagement ministry.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like we're kind of ahead of the game, but I definitely want to make sure that we put resources there because we're going to need it. We're going to need flyers. We're going to need a place for people to come. We're going to need a place for people to come and be educated on what's going on.
Yeah.
And so right now, the black church needs to be the black church.
Oh yes.
If at no other point in time. So we're going to be that church. It's not about the building. We're going to be that church to be that safe space. And as we talk about safe space, our topic tonight is going to hit on that exactly and how that is. And so I'm going to jump right in. I hope y'all ready.
Buckle up.
I'm going to say it this way. When we talk about mental health in the black church, we talk about it, we say it, we look at it. What's up, Jerry? I love to see you. Yeah, they are. They're the very, very much least attended activity or that the church can have. When we talk about mental health in the black church, we usually look at it through the wrong lens.
Yeah.
We usually look at it through a person having a lack of faith. And I want to make sure that everybody understands what I'm here tonight. I worked in mental health for 6 years as a rehab program coordinator for a mental health agency out in Irondale called Capital Care South. With that, I learned a lot about mental health. I learned a lot about mental illness. I work very closely with all of them: bipolar 1 and 2, depression, schizophrenia, schizoaffective, and even some others, autism, both ends of the spectrum. I'm not going to say I'm an expert, since everybody's kind of on Cheyenne and Brian. I'm not going to go that far and say I'm him, but I'm definitely knowledgeable enough to talk about it tonight. And I've done many sessions. I also was able to bill Medicaid. I'm fully inept to give this piece, and that is, listen, y'all. Mental health is you. It's everything about you. It's not that you have a mental illness, and I think that's the first point I need to make tonight. Your mental health is you. It's everything about you. And when life events happen,
Right.
and I said when, not if. When a life event happens, your mental health is affected. Period. It's affected. And I don't care how many churches you operate. I don't care how long you've been preaching. I don't care how long you have been praying. I don't care how long you've been attending Sunday school. Listen, life happens to us all. And when it happens, how we are impacted by those life events can definitely shift our mental health for the worse.
Oh, no question.
And so when those things happen and you don't have a healthy system of dealing and coping, then you end up repeating another cycle, another life event, another funeral, another grief, another loss, job, whatever it is. These things begin to pile up, right? And it's kind of like packing on a trip. It's like you just keep throwing things in your luggage bag.
It's overwhelming.
And eventually it gets really heavy. And because it gets heavy, you start to feel that weight at some point.
Right.
Whether you want to admit it or not, life will begin to weigh on you. And I don't care. You can have all the faith in the world, but it still gets heavy. This is why one of the references I believe that the Bible uses for things like depression is the spirit of heaviness.
Heaviness, yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so I'm going to share with you all a little testimony about me and my battle. But before I do all that, I want to make a few points, and then I'm gonna pass the mic. Number one, I want everybody to type in. I want everybody to write down. I want everybody to grab what I'm about to say. Listen, mental health is not a white issue. Mental health is not a black issue. Mental health is not a rich man issue. Mental health is not a poor man issue. It's not a worldly issue. It's not a carnal issue. It's not a faith issue. It's a human issue. As humans, we are going to be impacted in the area of our mental. And because of that, I need everybody to understand, we have to eradicate some myths surrounding mental health, because there are a lot of them. It's almost taboo in the black church.
Yeah, Pastor, and the fact that you're saying it that way is that we are doing better. We're going to the doctor to see about high blood pressure. We're going to the doctor about diabetes. So we've gotten better, because especially black men, we wouldn't even go to the doctor, period.
Right.
So now we need to evolve, because the mental part, where we're taught to be strong, show no emotions, carry the weight, pray and say that God will pull us through it all, and yet we still have that spirit of heaviness that you mentioned. And really, there are times, and you and I can testify to this, there are times when you just need to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And we're thankful tonight that our relationship has developed where we can spend an hour or two on the phone just listening to each other and talking, so that somebody can, not so much give you direction, but just weigh in or give you alternatives to the way you're thinking.
Yeah.
So that mental health support, that having someone to talk to, is really important. And then when you're seeking mental health, having that person who is a professional who knows how to pull the necessary strings
Yeah.
to get you to admit or to be forthcoming about what is going on in your mind. And it is there it it's a profession that just like you have the doctor, your general doctor who takes care of you, those psychiatrists, those mental health specialists, they know how to do it. So just like we trust in God to give the doctor who is doing the heart surgery, give him the tools
Right.
to fix our heart. Well, God has put in place those people who can help fix our mind.
Right. And you said a key word, someone to talk to,
Absolutely.
and you also said they are trained
Right.
to pull the right strings
Yes.
to get you to see life differently.
Right.
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 And so one of the things that I used to practice was I never really stayed in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I focused on reality therapy and solution focused therapy, particularly because of the time. A little CBT, for those that don't know these terms I'm using, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, a little CBT because you have to, but a lot of my time was spent on, okay, we know the problem.
Right.
And if we don't, we have to identify it, CBT. I use CBT for identifying problems, but then we shift to reality. That's acceptance, because a lot of us struggle with accepting our realities, right?
Right.
But then, okay, how do I get out of it, right?
That's the thing.
And one of the things, I think you said it earlier when we talked. One of the things, when you go to a therapist, it's not necessarily that they got all the answers.
Right.
Usually, you and I, one of my first mentors, D'Amico, who was chimed in earlier, first person I knew, black male with licensed therapist, trained me at Siraj Family Homes. One of the very first things he told me was, we are our own counselors.
Absolutely.
We are our own therapists. God put something in us called the Holy Spirit that gives us the conviction, the answers. We just need somebody to pull it out.
Right. And that's what they do.
And so a good therapist, y'all, is a good listener. A good listener. Listen, it's called helps, right? So in this profession, we're helpers.
Right.
But I can only help what you tell me.
That's it.
So it's like pulling teeth without numbing the gums.
I like that one.
It's like pulling teeth without numbing the gums.
I like that one. Use that.
You all, I need you to understand tonight that we have to break the stigma of, in the black church experience, that having a therapist, that something is wrong with that person. Having a therapist means that I have no faith or I'm weak in faith. No. It's actually the opposite.
Yeah, it is.
The strength for you to become vulnerable before someone that's a stranger, and to pour out, share out, and speak out on whatever it is coming and going on with you, that takes a lot of strength.
Yes, it does.
Because we're so guarded in keeping up personas and masks and things of that nature and images, that in order to actually get the help you need, you got to go sit on a couch.
Yeah.
I'm using couch. Some of them, most of them use chairs now.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You got to go sit.
Right.
And I think that speaks to not necessarily where you are, but what you're doing. We know that Jesus is seated, which means he's in a place of peace, a place of rest. He's not standing and fighting and delegating. He is sitting so that he can listen to us when we talk to him, right? So, yes, we pray. You should pray. But there's nothing wrong with prayer and appeal.
Oh, right.
I want y'all to hear me now. There is absolutely nothing wrong with having a prayer life and getting you a prescription if you need it.
Yeah, prayer and therapy.
Prayer and therapy. So I tell
They're
people
not
all the time.
enemies. They're our friends.
Yeah, and that's where we're going tonight. We want to show that there is actually a way for the black church and black Christians to eradicate some of their preconceived notions of what that looks like, and then be able to recognize that I need a little help.
Yeah.
Go get it, because I promise you, once you sit for a few sessions,
Oh yeah.
you're going to know that your money was well spent.
Yeah. And Doc, one of the things that we have to create an awareness of is that you in that atmosphere of therapy, you feel more free because this person is solely there to engage in what is going on with you. So we said, well, why can't you do that with a family member or a friend? Because, well, family members or friends, some of your therapy might be because might be
You
because
better talk, man.
might be because
It
of a
might
family
be,
member or
yeah.
friend. But family and friends, they're more of encouragers rather than seeking out what the root of the problem
Right.
is. So whereas they'll be saying, well, baby, you can handle it,
Yep.
or you'll get over it, if it's a father talking to a son, just be tough, real men don't cry. All these stigmas that we place on ourselves over time, that has really hampered our mental maturity.
And you made up a very good point, because fathers telling son,
Yeah,
don't cry,
don't cry.
suck it up.
Big boys don't cry.
All the things,
all of
all
that.
the things that we say to our children, I want y'all to understand that we're really passing pathological dysfunction. We're really passing on to our children our own dysfunction. And you can make the argument, we can get into whippings and what they do, but whooping a kid and telling him not to cry is crazy. You hit me. I mean, what's wrong with your mental? Like, are we okay right now? Are we for real? You hit me, but you don't want me to show emotion. And for boys, and I'm gonna speak to black men today, especially black boys. For boys, it hinders and it hampers our ability to be.
Right.
Because when we show up in relationships later on in our adult life, we don't know how to express,
Right.
handle, and manage our emotions in a healthy way.
Yeah, we can't bring our whole self
Right.
to the situation because we're afraid that will show weakness. And we men, we're supposed to be able to handle it.
Always.
We're supposed to be able to handle it. So, but that too, Doc, it you wonder why so many other things are prevalent with us not seeking help. This is why we have anger. This is why we're subject to addiction, because we're trying to cover it up, and these things just keeps perpetuating the same problems over and over because we never really deal with the real issue.
Right. You brought up two very good points that we need to explore just for a second. Anger.
Anger, yeah.
One of the reasons, and I want everyone to hear my observation and opinion. Research will probably back me up in a little bit of it because we've done the work. The anger issues in our community are passed down as well.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
A lot of it is unresolved trauma from childhood.
Absolutely.
And because we don't express ourselves, boys in particular, teenage boys, young men, because we cannot express our emotions in a healthy and relevant way,
Right.
we use guns, knives, and other things because we can't resolve the conflict and communicate our emotions in a healthy and productive way. So we resort to violence.
Mm-hmm.
That anger is the root.
Yeah.
What we see with the crime, those are symptoms.
Right.
Those are literally symptoms. The real problem is that the two individuals who had a disagreement, neither one of them had enough emotional maturity and intelligence
Mm-hmm.
to be able to communicate those said emotions.
Right.
That's why the crime is a little higher for black men
Mm-hmm.
than any other ethnicity, because black boys are taught, don't let nobody do this,
Right. Right.
and don't be a punk.
Mm-hmm.
But every now and then we need to start reframing some of these ideas and some of these things that we're teaching our kids, because we're really perpetuating the violent cycle by continuing to tell them to mass suppress their emotions.
Right.
I mean, and I can't say it any plainer.
Yeah. Yeah. The raising of our voices.
All of it.
The whole you can go through the whole spectrum of of us being in our feelings, and I've learned through my own self-help that a lot of that it stems from insecurity.
Got the money.
Duh. When you insecure, when you don't have a certain perspective of yourself, that's when it really just boils over.
Yep.
And that's when we see what we see.
Yeah.
And that's why it just keeps on. You wonder why it keeps on happening. This is why.
Yep.
We are insecure. So to make ourselves have that feeling like, we got it. So we just harden up, try to take it, and then in our minds we're being beat up by the thoughts that we're having, and the only way that we've been taught to get them out is either just don't say nothing, drink it away, sleep it away, smoke it away.
Yeah.
That's how we get it. Just get you a good hit of this Jack, and it'll be better.
We look in the bottom of the bottle.
Yeah. By the time we finish this bottle,
It go
problem
away.
solved.
Yeah, it's
But
definitely, but it's really a band-aid.
that's all. That's
Because
all.
once you finish the bottle, and once you finish your state of feel good, the problem and the pain is going nowhere.
And it's
As a
probably
matter of
magnified.
fact, I was gonna say, it's probably going to intensify
It-
whatever it is you were doing or thinking before drinking, smoking, and whatever it is. And another good observation, because I want everybody to understand that everything he just identified, smoking, drinking, I'll even say this: some people use sex as a method. All of those are what we in our field call coping mechanisms, and most of them are unhealthy coping mechanisms. And so when you get into a habitual act of using negative or unhealthy coping skills, what coping is really designed for doesn't happen. And so as a consequence, there are chemicals in your brain, neurons, that are being released, whether you know it or not. And I can get into all of them, but there are typically a very select few that help us to do what we do, right? You got serotonin, you got dopamine. And so when these neurons or chemicals are released, they go to parts of the brain that impairs functioning, right? Well, exercise does something to release them, but if you are unhealthy,
right.
and you're not exercising, you don't have healthy recreation, then those chemicals are just staying stuck. They're in your brain, and they're not in the parts of the brain that it's supposed to be in. They're stuck, and so the brain gets flooded with these said neurons, chemicals, and then it puts your nervous system out of whack.
Right. So you all over the place at that point.
Now, that's why I brought the nervous system up, because you said something that I thought was very profound. Safety. You said the words insecure,
Right.
but insecure means you're not safe.
You're not safe. Yeah.
And the root of insecurity is fear. At the end of the day, somewhere, somehow, you have a fear of something,
Right.
And insecurity means not secure, and that is a inside job. No one can help you with your insecurities. No one.
Right. Yeah, your self-esteem, all of this feeds into it when your mind is not into it. So we by seeking therapy, we have to, and and I learned this, is we have to learn to pour into ourselves. And that's where the help comes in, because it's not so much that they give you this roadmap. You do this, this, and this, and
Right.
you'll be fixed. But they kind of just nudge you or lead you to start thinking a different way.
Right.
So in order, one of the examples is, in order for you to love your family with the love that you want them to have, you must first learn how to love yourself.
Hi, somebody was paying attention. No, I'm just kidding.
You must first
Yeah.
learn how to
Got to.
love
That's
yourself.
good.
You cannot be present. You cannot be present. You cannot be the leader that God will have you to be if you don't. If you're not taking care of you, how can you take care of someone else if you messed up?
Woo, Don Solomon Jr.
If you messed up, how how are you bring how can you help them?
I'm gonna say this, and you probably can attest to it. You got me by a few years. I think about my father, that generation. I think about all the black brothers that I know, all the black men who are strong
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all the things that we say.
right.
A lot of them died prematurely,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of that was bad health,
Yes.
stress
Stress.
that
Yeah.
caused high blood
Mm-hmm.
or some other issues.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Stop taking care of self.
Right.
Gain weight. You may have diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
Diabetes untreated, unmaintained.
Yeah.
It leads to other things. So again, that goes back to that.
Yeah.
And I want y'all to hear me. Self-care. Can y'all put that in the chat? Self-care.
Yeah.
Self-care. He just hit it. He just highlighted exactly what needed to be said. Self-care. Because self-care is loving thyself.
Absolutely.
I hope y'all hear me tonight. Self-care. Listen, you can't do anything for anybody if you're not in a safe place yourself.
I want to tell you.
And although you might be showing up, I want you to understand and hear me clearly tonight. You might be showing up, or should I say, you might think you're showing up whole. But if you have unresolved trauma, if you have unhealed wounds, if you have all the things that are weighing you down, listen, you're showing up, but you're bent over.
Yeah.
So you're not upright. The plumb line is out of whack. So you're showing up, but you're not showing up whole. And you're not showing up healthy. And because you're not showing up whole and healthy, you are doing probably more damage to the environment you're in than good that you think you're doing.
Yeah.
And one of those pressures, and I went on a tangent for about 4 years in studying this. One of the things, and I say this until I'm out of here. One of the things that I think Paul helped to eradicate within the church, or didn't address because he had to address it another way, was men, in particularly, are only looked at for certain things. So a lot of what we do becomes performance.
Right.
As a matter of fact, everything
We do.
we do
Yeah.
is performance.
Yeah.
But man, do you understand the weight
Heavy.
of performance-based relationships?
Heavy.
And I want y'all sisters to lean in right here. I want you to understand the weight of performance-based relationships. Look, you want your man, your hubby, your partner, and I'm dealing with brothers tonight because we touched on a subject about boys being told to suppress their emotions at a very young age. You want your husband to provide financially. You want your husband to take out the garbage and to cut the grass and to make sure all the bills are paid and to make sure that the house is secure. We got safety here. We got all the things that he's supposed to do. Go to work, deal with the isms of the world at work, because black men have a harder than anybody else on the face of this planet. Let's just cut
Be
to the
real
chase.
about that, Doc.
And because of that, it's like we fight there, and then we have to come home sometimes and fight. So where is he having the ability to self-care?
Where's the reset? Where is the where is the help, or where is your mental capacity where you can, know what you got to face tomorrow, and where do you get that strength to rebuild yourself up? You're going on jobs where sometimes they've tackled your self-esteem.
Right.
Where you go to a job and you should have got the promotion, but you didn't get it because games were being played in the background.
Right.
All of those wars you have to face, all that messes with your mental psyche.
Exactly.
It attacks you. So you deal with that, then you come home and you come home and there's an expectation there. Because in the house, if you're a real man, according to how we picture a real man, you're the leader of that home. So now you got to come home, decisions got to be made, appliances got to, all these,
fixed.
you got to be fixed, well, you need to figure it out, grass got to be cut, things are going on. And now you went at work, you tried to make it happen. Now you get home, and you are the leader, you're the provider. Now you got to figure out how to make all these components work where everybody is happy. We and what we as men say: happy wife, happy life. All of those things. Now you got to put yourself in a position where everybody's straight. And I've said it, as long as my wife is straight, my kids straight, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm gonna be all right if I can get get those things lined up. I'm good. Don't worry about me. I'm straight.
Exactly.
But that's not real.
And it's definitely not reality.
It's not real.
And over time, men suppress or silence their needs.
Yep.
For the sacrifice of the family, and the weight of it is never felt until he dies.
Wow.
The appreciation, the gratitude, the real picture of what he presented to the family is so unappreciated that most of the weight is not experienced until he dies. Because then it's like, ooh, all this I got to do, all this, and see it that provision also comes with protection. So you shielding all the darts, you taking all the blows, but nobody's covering you.
My.
Nobody's covering and lifting you. And so what I want to make sure that I share tonight is, my sisters, understand you can help in this compartment. Listen, provision is more than financial. I'm gonna say that again. If you think that a man being a good provider is because he pays the bills, sadly, my dear, you have no idea what provisions are. Provisions is far more than bill paying. It's structural. It's spiritual. It's emotional. It's all the things that makes who we are as humans. And so a real man is going to be a praying man, first of all. A God-fearing man is a real man. And he's following the only real alpha male, because the Bible says he is the alpha and the omega. So Jesus is the first alpha male. I just wanted to put that out there in the atmosphere, since everybody got these beta and alphas and all that. Jesus is the perfect prime example of what alpha looks like. But what Jesus also paints a picture for us is that you have to take care of number one, to be able to provide efficiently, to be able to cover your family, to be able to empower your family, to uplift your family, to provide the necessary resources for your family. You have to be um, very in tune to yourself. You
Absolutely.
got to love yourself. And what would Jesus do often after ministry events? He would take respite,
That's right.
rest and relaxation,
Mm-hmm.
because they relieve some of the stress caused by the chemicals and the neurons that go to your brain. They give you something. They help you get focus, because dealing with life over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
it creates what I call a fog.
Yeah. And you can get lost in it.
Yeah, you just can't see clearly. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's where, to me, the therapy
Mm-hmm.
helps to remove the
The
fog.
fog.
It
Yeah.
gives you clarity. It gives you focus. It gives you futuristic thinking. You can move from pessimistic to optimistic.
Optimistic. Yeah.
And so, with that being said, I wanted to make sure that everybody kind of got that picture out the way, because as black brothers in the black church, where there is very low numbers, okay,
Anyway. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so our roles then become house, church, work,
Mm-hmm.
then self.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to flip that paradigm tonight, because I think we've been taught Matthew wrong. We've been taught that Jesus said, I summed it up, but y'all didn't read it right. I gave you a summation of the 10, but you didn't read it right, because love God is first. Make no mistake about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says, love thy neighbor as thyself. You can't love the neighbor
Unless you
like
love
yourself
yourself.
unless you
You
love
love
yourself.
yourself, right.
So self after God,
Mm-hmm.
then others. And the analogy I always use is when you take a flight.
Mm.
They give you the instructions, everybody's in their seat, you buckle up, and it
Yeah.
says, in the case,
In the case of an emergency.
put your
On
mask
first.
on first, then assist your children,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's because the airlines understand the spiritual principle behind self-care.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What does that look like to your child if you blow up in their face?
Right. Right. How traumatic is that?
Yeah. So yeah. So understanding this, it's a spiritual principle, and the Word of God. I want to make sure we give you some scripture tonight. The Word of God says that mental health is important. How is that? Understand that Third John, verse number 2. 3 John, verse number 2 says, "Behold, I wish above all things that thou mayst prosper and be in health." Now, that text is talking about the total man,
Mm.
mind, body, and mind, spirit, and soul. All three are to prosper. But if your spirit is weighted, how can you run
Mm.
and prosper?
Right. If your spirit is weighted and you have all this going on in your mind, how can you serve God when you're not taking care of his child, which you are? How can you fully give him what is required when you haven't taken care of yourself?
Right.
Yeah, you'd be like my dad was. Diabetes, God to take care of the diabetes. I'm finna eat this Chinese food.
Right.
I take a shot. He sent the shot, so I just keep taking the shot.
Yeah.
Not really doing anything, taking care of himself. Just saying that the medicine,
Let him do what
that's
he do.
as black men, that's how we push it off.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they got the medicine for.
Yeah.
Not that I need to change and try to help this medicine out a little bit so
Right.
it can work better, but that's how we,
Yeah.
that's how we brush it off. And that's how we misplace, I think, the responsibility of self-care.
Yep. And to that point, I know firsthand what that pressure feels like.
Mm-hmm. As do I. As do I.
And we'll probably have to tag back next week for the second installment, because we got so much on this issue.
Oh, yeah.
It's Mental Health Month, and this is our
Yeah.
contribution here. But I'm gonna share my testimony a little, or at least parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
But before I do, I want everyone here in this space to understand what I'm about to say. I want you to grasp hold of the need of safety. I want you to grasp hold to a need called safety. If you have any issues that have not been addressed, because we are bad about sweeping everything under rugs. If you have anything that's not been addressed, any trauma, any wounds, and you have just pushed your way through, because that's what we do. I want you to understand. Hey, can you please come down silently? We're recording. Thank you so much. Love you. I want you to understand that safety is a basic need. It's a basic human need. And one of the things that faith does for us is it unleashes that we are safe
Right.
in Jesus' arms. And so with that safety, we have things that happen in our life that makes us unsafe. And that's those things I talked about, the traumas and things of that nature. What you don't know is a lot of us are operating in survival mode. I'm going to say that again to y'all.
My word.
A lot of us are operating in life in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, all of your defenses are up.
Yep.
All of the mechanisms to protect you, because the body, God designed this body and this brain a way. The mind is a very, very funny thing. It is always scanning the environment for threats, perceived threats, as well as unrecognizable threats. Your body, and so if you ever notice, if you're in an area, this is why, like if you're in a dark alley, right? Ain't nothing got to be going on in the alley, but your body is charging. If you really in tune with your body, you can feel it charging, because that is your body saying this may not be safe.
Right. Look out.
So you're scanning for threats that perceived threats, because the body is going to do something with it. It's either going to fight it or it's going to flight it. Well, the problem with our community, unfortunately, is that some of us have so many unhealed issues that need to be discussed, that we're in constant survival mode. And when you're in survival mode and you have not released back to safe mode, everywhere you go, you're going to be scanning for threats. And when you're scanning for threats, listen, you're not at peace.
Right. No way you can be at peace.
And so that's the fights. That's the church fights. That's the house fights. That's the job. And a lot of people are walking around in this mode. And you've heard this term used before, toxic. If you are walking around with unhealed trauma and unresolved wounds, I hate to tell you tonight, you might just be toxic. Because everywhere you show up, you're taking those unhealed traumas and wounds, and now you have not resolved them. You're in survival mode, so you're walking around. You're like a walking razor blade.
Yeah.
Cutting things around you because you think that you're in danger, but you're really not in danger. You're a walking time bomb.
Cutting people that don't
everybody,
don't deserve
bleeding on any and everybody, and you have no idea that you have these dysfunctions. And we in our world we call it dysregulated, right? Your nervous system, it's an automatic thing. You don't turn it on and off. It's automatic. God designed it comes from the gland. Your gland that sits on top of your kidney. This is why a lot of us have kidney problems, because the gland that says it's got a fight or flight is right on the kidney, and it releases into the body. And a lot of our people, unfortunately, especially my black people, because of poverty, because of some of the things that's happening in our environment, we are in a constant survival mode.
Yeah, we have no sense of awareness because of the weight and the trauma of everything that's going on in our heads. We're slapping people and saying things because we are just unaware, because we're so deep into whatever that trauma that took place. It is ruling our behavior. So we're acting out. Like we say, the kids
acting out. Yeah.
We're acting out, and that's why, because we got unresolved trauma in our minds that is not allowing us to be present.
Yep, because you're not at peace. You're not present. So and this shows up. This is how you know that you might have something that's being triggered and you don't even know it. This is how you know when you find yourself in a present and you're always reverting back to the past.
My goodness.
This person did something similar to what my last person did,
20 years ago.
and now you're making this person in your present pay for 20 years of something that you could have resolved 20 years ago, but you didn't.
But you
You
did.
pushed it, you masked it, and I'm just gonna push on, go on, and before you know it, guess what happens? You show up in another relationship, you show up in another situationship with the unhealed things that were in your past.
Yeah, this happened 20 years ago. It's not going to happen to me again.
Not gonna happen. And so again,
The defense
your
mechanism.
defense.
Yeah.
And that's because you're not safe. And I want y'all to understand tonight that I'm not picking on anybody. We're definitely not trying to scare anybody. We're just delivering, once you've been delivered in therapy, you can kind of look back at yourself and say, ooh, I wasn't in a good space. And a lot of the decisions, listen, it affects your decision making, it affects your time management, it affects your show up, it affects everything about you, because again, mental health is everything about you. And so I want my people to understand that therapy is so beneficial.
Yes.
It is so beneficial.
It is. It will. I think it's. I can only relate it to. It's like the awakening of your soul, like your inner,
That's good.
your inner man. It's the awakening of your soul when the veil comes off, because they allow you to see yourself, or they help you go down avenues or streets where your mind on its own wouldn't go because of the trauma.
Right.
So you unmask, and it is a powerful feeling once you begin to see the layers as they come off, and you see how you begin to think clearer. Your thoughts, your moves are more strategic. You're sharper. You're focused. Everything it just propels you, and you're just amazed that the unveiling of those issues, bringing them to the forefront and talking them out and dealing with them, it awakens you.
Yeah.
So now you are really present,
Very much.
and you realize that you were not even here. Been 20 years, and you just not showing up to the party.
Just not showing up.
Yeah, so it's real powerful.
And I'll tell you this, you guys, because time is going to evade my testimony, but there's always next week.
Yeah, we got to hit this again, Doc.
Listen, one of the things, and I'm so glad you shared that, one of the things therapy did for me is not only was I able to recognize how I wasn't showing up, but I was also to recognize how others have not showed up for me. And so, and in Bible study, we're reading this book called The I Factor, and Dr. Moody does a wonderful job with this analogy. The chapter is titled "Peeling the Onion." Peeling the onion, because onions have layers, and as he said, you got layers of things that you've packed and compressed down that has to be unpacked out of your baggage, out of your luggage, just for you to be able to walk on and get to your plane. Listen, when you peel onions, it stinks.
Bring tears to your eyes.
When you start pulling that onion and unpacking it and pulling off the layers of that onion, it stinks. It stinks so bad. And it brings tears to your eyes so bad that usually you have to take a break or two just to be able to continue to focus. Listen, some of our lives are like an onion that has not been unpeeled. And until we find a balance to be able to peel the onion, we're going to continue to show up in unhealthy ways.
My.
I'm gonna leave y'all with this quote from my vantage point, and then we'll do our fast five wrap up. Listen, prayer, scripture, worship, and faith are all powerful resources, but spiritual support and professional mental health support can and should work together, not against each other. I want y'all to just sit with that for a minute. The church and the mental health community, if done with intentionality, they are wonderful tools to work together. And they don't have to compete at all. They work together, not in competition. I want y'all to really just marinate on that.
Yeah, that's strong, Doc.
Yeah.
That is man, we have got to go down and we might have to have 2 more sessions with this.
I'm with it.
Because you gotta give your testimony in regards to therapy, and then I got a story to tell too. So we definitely have got to hit this again because it is vitally important.
Okay. So y'all gonna turn in next week. Tune in next week for another episode of the MountCast. Listen, we're gonna get into a little depression next week. I really, really believe a lot of us are walking around undiagnosed and depressed. Undiagnosed and depressed. And I'm going to share with you my bout with depression on next week in my testimony. And I want you to understand, listen, when David said it's like miry clay, and it's like a pit, he wasn't lying.
Man, Doc, you giving them the we like giving them the teaser to how when the show is ending, and it gives you a little glimpse of the next episode.
I should have just shut it off.
Yeah. Man, you laid it on them. Yeah. So definitely, I hope that everyone tunes in next week, because this is a needed and powerful subject that needs to be unpacked. And we're not afraid to talk about it.
No.
We're not afraid.
No. And so, and to be fair, we're going to do at least 2 more. It's 5 weeks. We're going to do at least 2 or 3 more of these. And I'm going to actually reach out to some of my therapy community, and we're going to actually bring somebody in.
Yeah, that would be excellent.
And to share in this space. I want to try to get a male and a female. So I'm going to reach out to my partner, D'Amico or Herb, and Wu or Sister Johnson, Monique Johnson out in Hoover, and we're going to get somebody to come in, and but we want to talk to you basically because we've been through it. We've walked these waters, and I want to make sure that I tell all of my people here at the Mount, listen, if you didn't learn anything else from the let them theory,
my goodness,
the one thing you need to understand is you got to let me. And at some point in your life, you need to let me get help. Let me go talk to somebody. Let me unpack some of this weight. And I promise you, if you don't do but 6 sessions, your life will be tremendously blessed as a result of it.
Abundantly, Doc, because God wants us to be, our minds to be free so that we can worship him wholly, emotionally, mentally, so that we're in tune, so that we can give him the best worship that we can, because he deserves the highest praise. But you'll just be amazed at how when all of that stuff is layered out, how it changes everything and how it impacts your worship. We sent out a message a few weeks ago prior to the Sunday service where we were telling people to get, come in church intentional.
Right.
Bring your praise with you. As soon as you hit the door, your praise should be on your lips.
Right.
Nobody should have to poke you or remind you that now it's time to praise.
Yeah.
You should have a praise on your lips when you enter the doors because of his goodness, his kindness. You can't get past the fact that he woke you up. You can't. I mean, if you just start there, he's worthy, Doc.
He's worthy.
He's worthy, and you'll be amazed at what a much better servant you can become when your mind is free.
Wow.
Good stuff,
Good
Doc.
stuff.
We can't wait till next week.
All right, y'all. If you have not, if you just joined in, do us a favor. See the ticker. Like this podcast. Share it with your audience. That's all we ask. Get this information out. It's all we ask. Help us by getting the information to people. And our goal is real simple. Our goal is real simple. Number one, we want to inspire.
That's it.
We want to motivate. We want to empower.
Yes.
We want to encourage. Listen, all the things that make us who God has destined us to be. That's what this podcast is all about. All right. So that's your boy, Pastor Jay.
Deacon Saul.
And we thank you for tuning in to another episode of the MountCast. Tune in next week, same time, Thursday, same space at the Mount in your virtual audience. And we'll look to see you in the space. God bless. Peace.
God bless you. God bless you. That was powerful stuff, Doc. Golly.